When I was little, every 6 months, we would pack our van with coolers, just bunch of coolers. And we would either head to Dallas or we would head to Chicago. And we would stock up on all these things and then bring them back to Siloam Springs. And that's how we got through a couple of months. When my mom first moved, she cried, actually, because she went into the grocery store there and she didn't know what to cook. There was like no bok choy, no yu choy. She was just like, I don't know what to feed you all. And so that was a culture shock for her. So she had to create some of these hometown flavors from China with what she had. My name is Shu Lan Tang. Currently, I'm the owner of Tangs Asian Market. So we've been plugging away at this and doing this for about 7 years. This is a switch for my family. We actually are restaurant people. My dad's been cooking and doing a restaurant for like 30-something years before he made the move to a market. In China, he actually did electrical work. But he came in the 80s and it was actually really hard to get a job in the 80s in the United States. So he ended up working in a kitchen. It was tough to switch careers, but he did that. And then my mom and I came out a few years after. We lived in San Francisco for about a year. San Francisco is expensive now, but it was expensive in the 80s. So they had to move inward. And so they chose Chanute, Kansas. And they partnered up and opened a Chinese restaurant that also served American food, actually. There, so like, he was aware of chicken fried steak and mashed potatoes. He did the kind of Southern food, and then we did fried rice, chow mein, and all of this American Chinese food. We were there for about a year, and then he decided that he was going to sell his half of the business, and he's going to open one on his own. So he got into a car, chose a direction, and settled on Siloam Springs, Arkansas. And we were the very first Chinese family to move into the town, but we had the very first Chinese restaurant. I grew up there. I remember I would put these chairs, I would put 4 of them together, and I would sleep in them as a bed because they would be there around like 9 or 10 in the morning, and they would close at 9 p.m. and then they would work until midnight, prepping food for the next day. Ryan, my husband, and I came back from overseas. I was in Japan for about 3 years teaching English with the JET program. Ryan was in Hong Kong for a year with a Fulbright scholarship. We had really embraced some of the food that was overseas, and we really missed it. So we spent a lot of time just like traveling to different Asian markets. There were a couple when we came back, but we had to go as far as Tulsa to Namhai to get some things. Dad was just like, hey, I have this crazy idea, let's open up a market. And Brian and I were like, yeah, let's do that, we're on board. So he was just like, we'll just use this building and we'll convert it into a market. We did everything ourselves. We were ripping carpet out, we were getting shelves in, getting our freezers set up. That's how this market came about. It was so stressful when we opened. People were just coming in. We didn't even announce it that we were opening. We were still learning about our business, and we thought we would do a soft open. I remember the day before we decided to open, we were trying to put things on the shelf, and people were just coming in and just picking things up from boxes and taking it to the register. And we weren't even open. We had no money. We had no money in the register. That's how we started. That was our first day. The market actually serviced a big Marshallese population, Islanders, Korean, Japanese, Thai, Vietnamese, as well as Chinese. And so we have a little of everything for everybody. I get told a lot that our pork and egg bun reminds them of home. And so I've got Vietnamese customers coming in and they're like, this reminds me of home. I'm learning new names actually for the different types of items we have. They recognize the food even though they call it by a different name. The deli is what motivated my dad to open a market. He wanted to move into more like traditional foods. The food is ready by 11. The ducks have to sit a little bit. The pork belly takes a little longer. We have to crisp up the skin. We go and we cook until like 3 or 4 is the last time we cook. And then we sell out. Sometimes on busy days, we sell out at 6. And sometimes on slower days, we sell out at 7. We had a lot of people that would come in. They're on their lunch break from George's and then from Tyson. They would come in and they're like, well, can I get rice with that? And then my dad was like, we have this in China, duck lunch, pork lunch, like pork belly lunch, And so he's just like, why don't you just start making lunches for people? You've got the savoriness of the meat and then rice, and then you've got the sweet and the sour of the seaweed salad. You don't travel really far like we did in the past because of our market and markets like us. We are bringing these ingredients in for everyone, and people in this area are really embracing it. It makes our area that much richer and that much more diverse. That's special to us. That's special to our town and to Northwest Arkansas.